We are here, and my hair is doing funky stuff, so I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we're here, and we're an hour and 45 minutes early, so. Alright, so I am here, and in typical fashion, it is hot as you know what out. I'm sweating, but we're ready for this thing. We have 45 minutes to go.
That's right. So
ready?
Relax and enjoy it.
Relax in the hot sun.
Start reading your book.
Yeah, start reading the book. These are all the people down like ants, and I am smart and up here, so yay, even though it's hotter up here, but alright, we're gonna wait for it to go. Not sure if you can tell too, but I think the Boston Ballet is across from me. There's all these reserved seats, and no one's sitting in there. So we'll see. I'll keep you up on that development. We'll see. Are you excited?
Yes, very much so.
Pop's
I'm
hot.
waiting to see the woman. I'm waiting to see what the woman looks like and what she's talking about.
Well, she's young, so.
Oh, young. All right, thank you.
There you have it.
Air high fives all around. Hey everybody, my name is Margot Wood. I am the community manager of Epic Reads. We make some fun YouTube videos, and we have a website. Does anybody ever watch our YouTube videos? You guys are So, Epic Reads is our YA community for HarperCollins. We give away books, and we do a lot of fun stuff, and we host authors like Veronica Roth. So, you should follow us on Twitter, you know, shameless plug, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff. But it's time to bring out the lady you are all here for, Miss Veronica Roth. Whose questions we pulled will win a signed poster. And then stay tuned after, because we have another little surprise. Surprise. This is your first time in Boston.
Yeah, it is. Technically, we're in Framingham.
Framingham,
Yeah.
sorry. What should we eat? What's like the thing in Boston to eat?
I heard something about whoopie pies earlier. Is that a thing?
Chowder?
Chowder?
Did I say that correct? I went to college here. I should probably know these things.
Did you know that your state dance is the square dance? And that one of your state mammals is the tabby cat? And your state juice is cranberry. So,
I think we have some, I guess they're not here yet. I see all their signs. The Boston Ballet people are going to be here soon.
but they're not here, so the shout out kind of.
Oh, boo. We'll shout them out when they get
Maybe we should just start.
start. You guys are waiting long enough.
Yeah, it's kind of hot in here, no?
Alright, so tell us, what is this For collection? What are the stories? How did it come about?
All the things.
All the things.
Okay, well, For is a series of stories. I stopped calling them short stories because they're actually not short. They're not, like, insanely long.
They're like technically novellas?
No, they're novelettes. I looked up the exact word count definition of them. Anyway, they're stories, and they're written from the perspective of Tobias, or For, as we know him. And the first three take place before the events of Divergent. They follow his choice of faction, his initiation, some of the weird things he discovers along the way, and the weird things that happen to him along the way. And then the fourth story, The Traitor, overlaps with the middle of Divergent. Also in the back of the book are some deleted scenes that I couldn't quite get into the other stories. So there are significant moments from Divergent from Tobias' perspective as well. So it'll be fun. I had fun writing it.
There's that drunk Tobias scene, right? That's in there?
I've been told not to call it that, but yes.
Sorry.
There's a goofy Tobias scene in there.
No one told me that.
He's 18. There are no laws in his society. It's fine.
There you go. So why did you decide to write these stories on this particular Divergent timeline before Divergent and during Divergent, and not, say, in the middle of a Legion or Insurgent?
Well, throughout the course of writing the series, well, some of you might know, but I originally originally started writing the very, very rough draft of Divergent from Tobias's perspective, because I didn't have Tris as my narrator yet. But he didn't work as well because at that point his story wasn't very well developed, and I felt like it was a little expected to have a young man grow up in a kind of oppressed environment and seek adventure, because I feel like that's like all of literature is that story. But to have a woman, a young woman, a small young woman, who is constantly being underestimated by the people around her, to have her choose Dauntless felt like a really urgent story to tell. But as the series went on, I realized that there is a lot of urgency in Tobias's story because he chooses Dauntless, not because he's brave, but because he wants to escape. And he has to navigate this world that he's living in and navigate his own issues with his family and stuff like that. So to me, it felt like a natural story to tell, and also a challenge because they technically have the same story in a lot of ways. You know, they come from the same place, they make the same decisions, and showing how they make the same decisions but for different reasons was really interesting to me. But then I just really wanted to write some of the Divergent scenes from his perspective, and I was like, can I do that? And everyone was like, yeah, they're your stories. So I did. Did you?
I had to ask, I love him so much.
Okay, so I met Theo and Shailene a week before they started production on Divergent. We had a drink. He was super polite and also tried to do the European like cheek kiss thing with me. But I'm like a hug greeting person, and so it was the most awkward experience of my life. And I also was wearing super pointy shoes, so I like stepped on his foot and he kissed my cheek. And then I turned bright red, and my husband looked at me like, come on, Veronica. And after that, it was great. I mean, he's super nice. Yeah, that's when I met him.
How is he in comparison to 4? Do they have any similarities?
Yeah, I think so. He's quiet and he's very focused, and he's very private. So I think those are all good qualities that help him to remain grounded, and they're very similar to 4. He seems to understand 4 on like a really deep level. I was listening to him and Shailene argue about how a scene would go last time I was on set, and they were both like, they're arguing like in agreement, you know, when people agree with each other, but they're still like, yeah, and this, yes. So that was kind of what was happening. And they're both fighting for their characters, so they're kind of the best advocates you can have for those characters. You know, they're there all the time, and they know when it's not right, so they try to fix it, so that's great.
Did he ever, or Shailene or any of the other cast members at any point, come to go to the script writer, I don't know the name of the
writer,
and just be like, I don't think, or go to you and be like, I think my character would do it differently.
I think they usually take those concerns like on the day up to the director, so I'm not really a part of those conversations, and I'm not sure. I know that happens all the time.
Do you have any plans to be an extra in Insurgent?
I don't know yet, so I'm asking if I can be there. I'm like, okay, I'll do it, but only if you demote me, because I don't want to do that being the focus of the camera thing again. I'd really like to just be in the background doing a mindless, repetitive task. Can we do that? So
just like Amity Farmer number 4.
Yeah, exactly. Like just put me in the back, like behind my mother, who is definitely going to be an extra.
Oh, awesome!
So that'll be fine, but we'll see.
Which new cast member are you most excited to see or meet?
Oh.
I want to meet Daniel Day Kim just so I can ask him.
I already met
Lost.
Daniel Day Kim.
Oh, did you ask him about Lost?
No.
Wasted opportunity.
I did, however, just listen to his voice, which is beautiful. Just talk to me, Daniel Day Kim. I also met Keenan Lonsdale, who plays Uriah. He's really cute. You're gonna love him, I think.
Aw. And you just had a phone call with like Naomi, right?
You can't talk about that.
You're gonna
Mom's
meet
had a
her.
question.
I wonder what she's like.
She wondered what Evelyn's original faction was, and I told her it was erudite, and she's like, I knew it. And that was the extent of our phone calls. But this sounds like super name-droppy. I don't like talking about this. Yes, I've met them. They're in the movie. They're very nice. Yeah.
What are the advantages of letting someone else take your story and tell it in a totally different format? Is it scary?
You know, for me it wasn't. I know that for a lot of people it is. And even for a lot of readers it's alarming. And they're still alarmed. I still get a lot of Tumblr messages about, who's Edgar? Because they cast a guy whose character name is Edgar in the second movie. It's not a love triangle. Like, it's fine. Yeah. I don't know where everyone got this idea. It was like a Tumblr rumor. Anyway, people freak out really easily. And I understand why, because, you know, you're just sitting there waiting with like very little information, and you are excited about a thing, and you're like, don't mess it up, guys. So I get it. But for me, I went into the experience as open-minded as possible, because I knew that it would change, and I knew I'd have to let go of it. And I also, when I write something, it doesn't mean that I start hating it, but I do try to acknowledge what I could have done that's better about it. I think that's a healthy way of growing as a writer. And so when it came to the movies, it was kind of like, well, I hope that this is an opportunity to, you know, to shift some of the things that I did that maybe weren't executed as well as they could have been. So I was excited to see what they could do, and how they could resolve things like maybe if there's pacing problems, or if, you know, certain characters say certain things in weird ways. Like sometimes you read the book aloud and you're like, that dialogue doesn't actually sound like real dialogue. Like when he tells her she's tough as nails. It works on the page, but imagining Theo James saying that to Shailene, I was like, nah, I don't think so. So for me, it was just really fun. It was like, how often do you get to walk into someone else's brain as they're reading your book, pretty much? It's like a reinterpretation, and it was really fun. And I think they kept the spirit of the characters pretty much the same, so I felt really good about that.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be? Oh, are you doing origami?
She writes, she acts, she does origami.
Do you cook too?
What?
Do you cook?
No. Wait, what, superpower? Okay.
Yeah, what's your superpower? To cook?
No, it's a hat. It's a hat. It's a hat. Sometimes I would really like to be able to read people's emotions. And it's because I feel like it would... Yeah. This is taking that turn. I feel like it would make me more sensitive to the people around me. And I'm already always trying to guess what people are feeling. And it would keep me from, like, accidentally hurting people's feelings, which I think is a good thing. Emotional awareness, it's important. I feel like that's a lame answer. Also, I would fly and shoot laser bolts. Laser bolts. One of my fingers.
I just keep picturing laser cats, the SNL skit. This question comes from Rishi Kaban. Do you believe in faction before blood?
Oh my god, you went right for this question.
It was at the
I know, I put it in the stack, yes. The reason I picked this question is because it can get deep real fast. So if we think about faction as the people that you choose, as opposed to the people that you're born with, this becomes even harder because it's like, would you choose your spouse over your mother? Answer that question. Gosh. No, I can't. So my answer is no, I don't believe in it because I don't believe in one over the other at all. I believe in doing what you can for the people who need you. And like those categories, faction, blood, those things are part of what makes the Divergent world dystopian. So anytime that you put up a barrier to separate yourself from someone else because you, I don't know, don't want to be associated with them anymore, or because you don't want to put in the effort of getting to know them or learning how to love them, I feel like that's a huge problem, and it's something that everybody does, and I do all the time. And part of writing these books was trying to face that in myself and trying to stop doing that so much. So
this question comes from Amanda Iveron. In the book, Tobias says, "I love you" first, but in the movie, Tris does. Do you think that changes their dynamic?
So, in the Divergent movie, when Tris and Tobias are fighting at the end, when he's still under the simulation, she says, "It's okay, I love you," when she's kind of sacrificing herself for him. That happens at the end of Divergent. I don't know if you know. Sorry, I'm not doing spoiler alerts anymore for the first book. But that was, I think, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive, ad-libbed by Shailene in the moment because she was getting very, very, very emotional and she just said it. And it worked really well on an emotional level. And I talked to someone about it later, and the reason it's changed there is because they're trying to communicate what she's thinking in the book, which is that she can't bear to end his life. She would rather, and she feels like there's something powerful about doing this for him. It's not that she wants him to hurt her, or that she wants to be hurt. It's that she has a feeling, like a gut impulse, that there's something powerful enough in the act of sacrificing yourself to redeem someone else. So That's something that she believes throughout the series. And Shailene was trying to communicate that in whatever visual way she could. But I do think it changes their relationship dynamic. So that's just one of the ways the movie's going to differ from the books. But I love that he says it, and she doesn't say it back because she's not ready, and he doesn't pester her about it.
That's
one of my
because he's a
favorite
feminist.
things. It's just like, he says it because he's ready to say it, but he doesn't take offense. He knows that she cares about him.
Alright, so I am back from the book signing. It was super, super fun, even though it was super, super hot. And I'm sorry that I didn't get the whole thing, but I had to cut it off because my hand was sweating so bad and I was scared I was going to drop the camera and then it was just going to tumble down into oblivion, and it was a mess. So I'm sorry I don't have the whole thing, but I do have 4. So it's here. I can touch it, I can hold it, I can smell it. Smells orgasmic. Yes, I really did say that. I had so much fun at this event. Veronica said some really interesting and some really great things, and I just think she reminds me a lot of John Green in that she just seems so intelligent yet relatable whenever she speaks, and it just made for a really, really great event, and I had so much fun. I'm glad I went, and just look at this pretty cover. I gotta go read this now so I can review it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!